so much for visiting us today.
Thank you for having us.
Hello and welcome to another cryptocurrency video. Hope you've had a good weekend and thank you for coming here for your crypto news and crypto review. If you're new, please subscribe, and if you do find value throughout this video, make sure you hit that like button, man. But we're just going to jump straight into the first story that I want to talk about today, and that is Binance launching their Fiat exchange in Uganda. This is the first Fiat compatible exchange that Binance have launched, and yeah, it's in a third world country like Uganda. I'm pretty sure Uganda's third world country, not to offend anyone there, but yeah, it's great. This is really great news in my opinion, because I feel like blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies are really going to help third world countries a lot more than what they're going to help first world countries. At the moment, you can only buy Bitcoin and Ethereum with your Uganda shilling, but you know, it's baby steps, and sure, they've announced in a few statements that I read that they are planning on implementing more cryptocurrencies to the exchange. They also said this is just the first of many steps that they're going to start doing to help these third world countries, and I've read many times about CZ, our cult leader. I've read many times about CZ, the CEO of Binance. He wants to keep putting exchanges all around the world so everybody around the world can access cryptocurrencies, especially adding Fiat. That is amazing to see. They've also announced that they're going to have zero fee for the first like 2 days or whatever it is, and they're giving away free Binance tokens to everyone that signs up. So amazing first story, really great positive news. Now the second story is not so positive, not so great in the crypto community. It's about a mining pool community that are going around and basically trying to kill coins, and they are related to, or they are friends with, the people at Bitcoin Cash Satoshi Vision. Fucking name. But yeah, basically they're going around and they're mining proof of work coins, and they are mining empty blocks, getting the rewards for these empty blocks, and then using the altcoins they get rewarded by mining these empty blocks, and selling those altcoins for Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi Vision, or Bitcoin Cash. I can't remember which one they're friends with. And yeah, basically they're going to keep buying Bitcoin Cash, Satoshi Vision, or Bitcoin Cash, and you know, supply and demand just make the supply go down, and obviously keep pushing up the price of Bitcoin Cash while lessening other altcoins. They are called shark pool mining. Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on them, and if you want to learn more about that group, then go and Google it. Now that we have those little news stories out the way, let's get into the meat, like sort of literally, of today's video. T-Food, and I have mentioned T-Food before in my November and December video, altcoin video, very briefly. Didn't go into huge detail, so today we're going to go into a bit more detail into T-Food, and hopefully you can learn more about what this project is doing and understand it better. Currently ranked 435 with a price of 1.5 cents roughly and 219 satoshis. T-Food is a supply chain cryptocurrency. They've only just recently started moving into blockchain technology, and they were working as a regular supply chain company that wasn't using blockchain technology before, from 2015. Now the ICO price for a T-Food token was 5 cents. So it's trading quite a bit underneath the ICO price. If you don't know what a supply chain company is, basically they track what has happened to your food that you're going to consume from the farm where it was produced all the way to where it's in the shop, to the point where you buy it and consume it. Now the reason why companies do this is because of then if there is an outbreak of some virus or some, you know, bacterial contamination, then they can track it back to the farm where it came from, and hopefully stop it. Like, for example, foot and mouth disease, and you know, there was a whole strawberry outbreak in the UK recently, so they can track it back to that farm and hopefully stop it there before it spreads further, and also hold people accountable for if like people get ill from, you know, eating those products. So the reason why T-Food have decided to implement blockchain technology into their business model is because of the blockchain is great to store information on without it being tampered with. So a large company can't pay off someone to change the data, so it can't be tracked to them, and then they can't be held accountable and sued. It's also good, as you know, because of, you know, it's global. You don't have to jump through loads of hoops. You can just use the cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency has no borders, and it just makes it easier for businesses to get on board and you know, use the company. Now that is literally just scratching the surface of T-Food and giving a very basic explanation of what they are doing. To really understand what is happening here, we need to dive deeper and see how this is actually going to be implemented and how this is going to work. So the way they're actually going to track what has happened to an animal, so you can find out when you are buying your meat, they are going to use QR codes. Now these QR codes will be on the actual animal, so every time that animal has to go to the vets and gets antibiotics for an infection or something like that, the vet will scan that QR code, put the necessary data onto that QR code, and then that QR code will go on to the next stage, which will be the slaughterhouse, and then, you know, they'll put their data on it, and that will carry on all the way throughout that cow's journey, life and death, all the way to the point where it ends up at your shopping bag, where you will be, as a consumer, you can use the app on your phone, scan the QR code on the package, see what's happened to that animal, and yeah, you have a full history in the palm of your hand of what has happened to your meat. They aren't just focusing on cows, they are literally doing all spectrums of your grocery shopping, so fruit and veg, seafood, fish, you know, pigs, chicken, eggs, they have everything covered pretty much. So I've told you about the consumer app where you can track your meat from the QR code on the package of your meat, but there will also be a business to business app where you can track that live animal and what has happened to that live animal's journey, which is good for a business which is going to be purchasing meat, and also good for traceability, like I said before. So that's how the T-Food apps work, and the whole supply chain thing. It's actually it's complex, but it's basic at the same time. You know, everything's just got a QR code, and just down the chain, down the system to where it ends up in the shop, it's just constantly updated with information on what's happened to that meat. That's basically what happens in short. Now, the next thing I want to do is just talk about the CEOs real quick of this company and what they've done in the past. So Eric, the CEO, has 23 years of leadership and IT project management. He founded the company Urba, and they have been implementing their IT know-how and building other companies' IT infrastructures. He also has another company called Flumin, which is working towards vehicle charging management in the workplace sort of thing. I think it's pretty interesting to read. And we also have Martin Venn, who is the CMO of T-Food, and he has worked alongside Eric in a lot of his companies, and between them they both have many years of experience in working with many different companies. And with this, they obviously have a nice black book of companies to work with, which brings me nicely back to T-Food, because of they have partnered with many large companies in Asia, many large supermarkets in Asia and Vietnam, which I guess the supply chain is vital because of the standards out there probably aren't as high as what they are in the West, and it's important to be able to track that back, especially in these developing countries, which I feel are going to be implementing blockchain technology quicker than our Western world, because of it's going to take longer for us to get used to the infrastructure's change, whereas in a third world country, if they just start with blockchain technology, rapidly integrate it. And yeah, T-Food is a company which is working on building their infrastructure first. They're not working on building hype up, they're not trying to give people false promises. They are building a working product, and like I said, these guys have got experience in building things and getting things to market, and, you know, getting companies set up, and that is what they're doing here. The token economics for T-Food are a bit more complicated. Now, there are two tokens. one of which is the TFD token, which you buy on exchanges right now, and there is another token which is pegged to the dollar, which works inside of the TFD ecosystem called CAL, short for calories. If I was to buy TFD tokens, and I am not someone who, you know, has a farm or someone that is, you know, you would be able to utilize the token, I can actually rent out my TFT tokens, and it comes with that is the license to use the apps and, you know, the whole ecosystem which is created by T-Food. I actually give people the I actually give a farm, let's say, the access to the apps, and then they would pay me in cows, like CAL, for transactions used. So in essence, they are basically renting the tokens from me, and in return I am receiving CAL tokens, which are pegged to the dollar, which I can do whatever I want. I can go and buy more TFD tokens, I can go buy Bitcoin with, you know, I can do whatever I want with that. Now in the future, you'll be able to use CAL to pay for other services in the ecosystem, but right now, where things are just getting started, to begin with, you're only going to be able to pay the person who you are getting your TFD tokens from in CAL. Now, if I have got that wrong, please someone correct me in the comments below, because of, you know, I do struggle with things like that sometimes, trying to understand things like that. I'll be straight up and honest. But yeah, if you can correct me if I'm wrong. Also, because they expect a large amount of people to be using the T-Food apps, both the business to business app and also the consumer app, you'll be able to get a lot of data from these apps, and if the consumer decides to, and if the businesses decide to allow this data to be sold on to big companies, like we always see in blockchain technology, taking control of your data, then you also be rewarded for that. Now, if you are interested into further learning about how this token economy works and, you know, all the different masternodes and everything, I'll leave a link to a Medium article down below which goes into more detail and probably explains it a lot better than what I have. That leads me to the end of the video. I just want to give my opinion on T-Food. Lastly, I think it is a great project. I think the consumer won't even realize that it's using blockchain technology, and brand recognition will do well for T-Food. If you see a T-Food sticker on your meat, you're going to know that it has, you know, it's got good traceability on it. Basically, you know that that food that you're having or that food that you're buying is good food. Especially in our day and age, you know, you've got so many people that want halal meat in different parts of the world. You also have people that are more conscious about what their cow has eaten, like you want grass-fed, also like corn-fed chickens or whatever it is, and people want to know that their eggs aren't like factory farm eggs and everything like that. If you can just scan a QR code on your phone, then that is ideal, because I always have that trouble because I really like fresh eggs, and, you know, a company might market their eggs as being fresh, but you don't know where they've really come from. Not only that, but third world countries where, you know, food hygiene has probably been a massive problem in the past, where your food has come from. You know, I've read stories about, you know, they don't have refrigerated trucks and everything like that, so they have to sell the meat within the day, and some people just carry on selling it a few days after, where it's not been stored correctly, and that's making people very ill. So yeah, I feel like in developing countries, it's going to rapidly help them, you know, track where their food has come from, and hopefully educate them on food standards and everything like that. Not only that, but smaller businesses that want to get better brand recognition can use T-Food and say to people, you can track exactly what has happened to your meat, all the way from to the feed that cow has eaten or that animal has eaten, to where that fish was caught and how long it's been stored for, and how fresh your food is going to be good for smaller businesses, smaller fishermen. Using blockchain technology means that they can go worldwide faster, and hopefully T-Food will be in a lot of shops around the world. Now, with all that being said, I think I have covered everything that I want to say about T-Food. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. As always, let me know what you think of this project down below. If you're new to my videos, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. It's your boy, it's your man.
Young Josh A coming through with the plan. I wrote a couple songs and I gained a couple lives. Moved to Orlando, now I'm living fine. Yeah, I got a brain for a dentist and I train like a menace. But the passion is music, I've been in it for a minute, goddamn. Giving it everything that I can, I've been making some fire, my ego is boosted. I don't wanna go back, I've been looking at my life like a throwback. How far I've came, man, that's so rad. I remember when they said my music's so bad. Young, shy, and chosen, they laugh until they hear this young man go in. I've been making the killing, just chasing my dreams, right until I cannot breathe, yeah. It's like that, super, no,